Okay. All right, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video. Today we're talking about the Something from Nothing challenge. I put out this video now over 2 weeks ago, and this was supposed to happen a whole hell of a lot sooner, so I apologize for that, but we're gonna be getting into watching some of your guys' films that you submitted. I found two that I really enjoyed, and then we're also gonna talk about the behind the scenes of my film in my own world. Which, if you haven't seen that, you probably should, because we're going to be talking about the behind the scenes. So there'll be like a little white thing to click somewhere up around there, or a link down in the description. So be sure to go watch that before watching this. Real quick, before we get into watching your guys' films, I got to thank the people at Squarespace. They've been sponsoring and supporting the channel. They made this challenge possible. It's been fantastic to work with those guys. Like I've talked about before, if you guys are looking to build a portfolio, a website, an online store, Squarespace is one of the best platforms nowadays to create that. So start your free trial today. Head over to squarespace.com/RyanCow. Get to it. So the Something from Nothing challenge. As you guys know, the concept was to basically create a film, a project, just a video that has some sort of story or meaning to it in less than 24 hours. So that means to write, shoot, edit, everything, put it out in 24 hours. Now, obviously I meant to do this a whole lot sooner, but a lot of stuff came up. I was pretty busy over the last couple of weeks, so it kind of got pushed off and delayed. But I ended up creating a film all about being in my own world and my own space while driving late at night. Just the open, peaceful feeling of driving around at like 3 in the morning and just being able to think and be in my own world. I deal with a lot of anxiety, and driving around super late at night has always been something that's really kind of helped calm my nerves. And I really think that it's kind of a beautiful time at night that not a lot of people really get to see. So I wanted to create a film that would sort of embody that feeling of this sort of peaceful, lonely, beautiful feeling. Now, in the planning and production of this video, I spent maybe a few hours kind of storyboarding and putting together a structure, and also looking for the soundtrack that I was going to put behind it. I wanted it to be something that was very calm and elegant feeling. So I found this really nice piano track that came from Epidemic Music. By the way, if you guys haven't checked out that service, it's what I use for almost all the songs and music in my videos, so check that out, links down in the description, of course. And when I heard this track, I was like, this is perfect. It has this sort of very relaxing tempo to it. And after sort of looking outside and driving around and using that song in my head to kind of visualize what some of the shots would look like, I figured it was just going to be a perfect fit. Now, I think I mentioned at least once back in one of my previous videos that I was waiting for specific weather to create this film. Because this film was going to be taking place at night, I wanted a bit more of an interesting dynamic to it, and I figured that fog would give it just this a little bit more atmosphere, kind of like a spooky feeling. But when the visuals come into place and the soundtrack lies underneath it, it goes from being less of spooky and more of just this peaceful feeling, which is really what I wanted to embody with this. Now, when it came to shooting this, I got a ton of questions asking how I accomplished the car shot, and in fact, I've used this technique a couple of times in some of the B-roll in my vlogs, this sort of behind the seat driving angle of the front dash of my car driving down the road. Really simply, it was basically just my camera on a tripod, 2 of the legs extended down to like the floor of the back seats, and then 1 middle leg resting on the actual seat itself, and it was just positioned in the middle, and then I kind of put some things on each of the legs like sandbags to keep it in place. And then the other shot of driving in the car, which was from the passenger seat, basically pointing toward the side profile of my face as I was driving down the road. Same sort of thing, where I basically had the legs of the tripod on the ground in the front seat, and then the other leg into the actual seat. Just kind of like halfway extended on one side and the other legs down touching the floor, if that makes sense. And then just obviously used some sandbags, some stuff to kind of hold the legs in place as I was driving. Throughout the production of this film, I didn't have any help. This was, funny enough, done at quite literally about 3:30 in the morning. It took me around an hour and a half, 2 hours or so worth of driving around to capture all of this. The driving shots, I basically just set the tripod up in both variations and drove this loop that I found of a couple of different streets that I really liked in terms of the lights and the street lights and all the elements kind of outside of the car. Drove it a bunch of times with both camera angle variations and just got as much as I possibly could, me kind of looking different directions, different facial expressions. And then when it came to the other shots, which were the shots of the streets or the street lights, or the shot of like me walking in front of all those loading bays. I was either just handheld or on a tripod, and it ended up turning out really, really nice. The fog really did add this extra sort of element to the film, which I really think kind of set the whole thing off. Overall, I think I did accomplish reasonably well what I was going for, which was this sort of peaceful isolation that is embodied within these 4 a.m. open roads. As I'm sure most of you guys are, I'm really, really into Stranger Things, and I really dig the whole 80s film look. So I really went kind of heavy with the film grain in this, and on top of the noise already, it gave it this very, very organic film look. And I did kind of color grade it a little bit differently than I normally would, but it really did turn out looking very, very organic and film-like, which is what I was going for. So I definitely think I nailed that element. What do you guys think about that? Do you like the whole film look, or do you like the more crispy digital look? So that's a little insight into how I shot my film. Now, as I mentioned in the Something From Nothing challenge video, I was going to be reviewing some of your guys' submissions and picking a couple that I really enjoyed to actually talk about here in this video. So I have a couple of films. One is from John Farrar, who is a creator from, I believe, Seattle, and I think he's sometimes in California. And then another guy, his name's Brian Snow. I believe he's also from California. So we're gonna be taking a look at their films, and then we're also going to be hearing a little bit from them on how they went about creating their work.
After years of letting inferiors insist in print that I was bad at expressing myself, I was done with the critical community and film press. The concept no longer made sense to me. A handful of loudmouth crackpots who make their parasitic living off of self-expressing about someone else's self-expression, telling that person essentially that he or she is expressing themselves wrong? How the fuck can self-expression ever even be classified by someone who's not expressing it themselves? It's like someone telling you that you're dreaming incorrectly. Only someone who doesn't understand art tells an artist their art somehow failed. How the fuck can art fail?
Alright, what's up guys? My name is John Farrar, and I'm a 19-year-old filmmaker and photographer from Seattle, Washington, and my film, titled Art is Worth Dying For, was created one day when a couple of buddies and I went on a hike, and we went to this place called Haybrook Lookout, which is really cool because the tower you guys saw in the video actually was a tower for firefighters back in the day to like go up to the top and look out and see forest fires from really far away. So, I mean, at least that's what I heard it was used for. So we wanted to revolve the video around like nature and art and just exploring and expression or something. And so that's what the footage was filmed for. And then I actually finished a book recently by a movie director named Kevin Smith. It's kind of like his autobiography. And there was a paragraph in it that I really liked about self-expression. So I found the audio book, which he actually like commentated himself. And then I took that clip as the voiceover, and basically the idea was just to create a nature video, but a nature one that revolved around the idea of art, because people like us on YouTube who are creators and who are people who have a passion for storytelling, I think it's important to spread the message that there's no right or wrong way to do it. It's just, you just do it. It's just art. So two filmmakers might use the same footage and make two different edits, and one isn't better than the other. They're just different. Now, obviously there's things that help and there's techniques that make them more appealing, but there's never a wrong way to do it. And I think it's important to encourage each other and just to go do what you like. And if you like how something looks or something sounds, then roll with it. Hopefully that makes sense. Thank you guys so much for watching. And thank you, Ryan, for picking my film to be one of the finalists, I guess. So that's basically it. Thank you all so much. Have a great day. Peace out.
I think the words in the narration are really powerful, and it really resonated with me because it's talking about how art is something that is subjective and there is no right or wrong way to create something. So I think piecing together a visual to this was really unique, and I think John executed it really, really well. He kept it really short and sweet and used this really cool location, went to it with his friends, and just created this sort of peaceful wilderness, wildlife type vibe. And then obviously the narration over top of it, and it created this unique visual poem, which I really like. I thought it was really great. So good job on that, John. If you guys want to check out the full video, the link is going to be down in the description, so make sure to go give John some love. So this next one is from Brian Snow, and this was a really unique submission. I got a lot of kind of adventure and travel films and stuff like that, but this was actually a narrative which had a really cool story. So I'll let Brian talk about this for a moment.
What up, y'all? My name is Brian Snow, and I am a filmmaker out of San Francisco, California. And please forgive the setting. I am currently on Thanksgiving break right now, but I am the director, DP, and editor of my short film, The Ride.
Keep that shit, Paul! Like Donald the bitch!
Now this project started as a class assignment to make a 5-minute short film. Not having a lot of background in narrative storytelling, I found it a little hard to come up with the concept at first. So for equipment, I used my Sony a7S II, which I'm filming on right now, with a 16 to 35mm lens. I just took my tripod, sat in the back, and held it down while he drove around. In post, I used Adobe Premiere Pro to edit the entire project, and I'd say about 90% of the sounds were added in after as sound effects. I used Lumetri for my color grading. Any of the graphics you saw in the film, like him dialing 911 or going through his Instagram feed, were done in After Effects. Anyway, I had a lot of fun creating my first narrative project, so I hope you really enjoyed the film. And like many of you, Brian inspired me to create my own YouTube channel full of tutorials and my own adventures, so hopefully you get the chance to check that out. Thanks.
This one was really unique, and I really enjoyed watching this. It's the concept of basically kids driving, texting on his phone, hits somebody or something, has no idea what to do, freaks out, throws the body in his car, drives off to the middle of nowhere, dumps the body. To be perfectly honest, I was really surprised when I saw this, because I made the assumption that a lot of people were gonna submit kind of like travel and adventure films and stuff like that, but I wasn't expecting somebody to create like this 5-minute narrative. So very big props to you on that one, Brian. Again, if you guys wanna see the full film, definitely go check it out. Link is down in the description. Be sure to show Brian some love. Really appreciate everybody's submissions. I think you all did fantastic. I really liked this because I think it inspired a lot of people to actually go out and create something. Like I talked about in the video, I think there's a ton of people who are inspired and are maybe on the verge of creating, but they don't actually have like a reason or real motivation to like actually get out and go do it. So this was obviously the purpose of that challenge. If you guys enjoyed this and you want to see more of it or me to do more of these challenges, I'm more than happy to, because I had a lot of fun creating my own, and I think a lot of you guys probably did. So if that's something you want to see, be sure to leave a comment below. Once again, gotta thank the people over at Squarespace for sponsoring and supporting the channel. I've talked about them before, and I'm gonna talk about them again because it is a service that I genuinely support, and I genuinely think if you guys are looking to build something for yourselves, like a portfolio, a website, just make yourself look more professional, especially if you're trying to get clients, which I did a video talking about how to go about getting clients, so check that out. Again, little white box up here somewhere. The platform itself is extremely easy to use. They have these templates which can make your stuff look like it was designed for thousands of dollars by a web professional, but in reality, it's just you dragging and dropping your images and clicking them and arranging them, and it's so easy to make something look good. That's the point I'm trying to make here. So if you guys are looking to get started, maybe actually finally take the leap and build that portfolio, build that website, again, make yourself look more valuable to clients, definitely start your free trial today. Head over to squarespace.com, and if you decide to actually go for it, squarespace.com/RyanCow, there's 10% off your first purchase. Always got you guys' back. But with that being said, guys, I think that about wraps it up for today's video. I hope you enjoyed this one. I hope you enjoyed getting to see other people's work. Once again, massive shout out to everybody who participated in the challenge. Be sure to comment down below if you want to do more of these challenges, because I do, definitely. I had a lot of fun with this. Subscribe, That's not the right order. Thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the next video.